Welcome to Monroe County's finest. I'm Nate.
I'm Mike. We are standing next to the Trans Am. However, we will not be working on the Trans Am today. Ricky is normally with us for this project. He is currently on vacation.
Lucky bastard. I swear.
True story.
Yeah.
However, we are going to backtrack a little bit, and we are going to reintroduce an old friend of ours.
Yeah. So she's a very sweetie to us, means a lot to us, and also helped us a lot with the channel.
Yes.
For starting it. So let's go talk to her.
Let's do so.
Cheers.
For those just tuning in, this truck was the first one on our channel, our first big project. We tore the motor out, put a new one in, and during the whole process, we went through a whole bunch of different parts. We checked the old motor out to see what was wrong with its detonation and why it ceased to exist. We added a whole bunch of new parts to the truck to get it to run the way it was supposed to. We had a couple of stop gaps there. Still has a check engine light on for a cam sensor, but it does run and drive, and I drive it for the winter. All right, so this is take 3 on this endeavor. We've had some audio problems, so hopefully this is the one that works. So we obviously have the truck back on the road. We are driving it. Everything appears to work for the most part. It is a work truck engine. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It is a work truck model, which means there's nothing fancy in here. There's no CD player. There's no power doors, power windows. It's just the basic of the basic, which is fine for what I needed to do. So we, in past videos, we have torn the old motor out, tore it apart, and put the new motor in. But before we put the new motor in, we went over it. We replaced some things on it, new gaskets. We did oil pan gasket. We did valley cover gasket. We did manifold gaskets, I think. Yeah, intake manifold gaskets we did.
Yep.
We did valve cover gaskets, water pump gaskets. We did all the gaskets for the most part. However, when you ever have a motor like this out of your vehicle, you are going to want to replace your pickup tube O-ring. That is a must. We got lucky. A really good friend of mine watched the video. He's a subscriber. Thank you, Joe. But he showed us he expressed some concern about not changing that after we put the engine in. So we got lucky, because normally if those are bad, you don't have oil pressure and your engine goes to hell. Luckily, we do have oil pressure, normal oil pressure. So we are lucky in that, as far as that goes. The temperature is fine. The oil pressure is good. Everything works. So we did end up taking the truck to Chad to diagnose some of the other problems. Cylinder 7 had a bad injector. We replaced it. Now it runs a lot better. However, we still do have a code for the cam position sensor. I don't know why that's still there. Could be a problem with the cam. Could be a bad sensor from brand new. We bought a new sensor, threw it in, didn't change anything. Could be a bad sensor. Could be something wrong with the cam. Supposedly this motor has a stage 3 BTR cam in it. But Chad was able to look through the wiring, scope out the wiring, hook his computer to it, which, by the way, if you're interested in any kind of off-roading stuff or fabrication, or just want your car to run and drive like it should, we're going to leave a link in the description down below for Chad's website. Check him out. He's a good guy, good dude, does good work. I highly recommend him.
So with that being said, the old engine had to come out because it had a catastrophic failure. And we also had an issue with a lot of the wiring harness because it did have a fire. And with that all being said, when we got the new engine, we also got some of the wiring harness with it. Unfortunately, the new wiring harness didn't have any of the NOx sensor wires. So what we ended up doing was, in the grommets, we ended up plugging them up and re-siliconing all around to make sure that it's watertight. In the video, we did put them slightly incorrectly, but after we got done recording, I noticed that we put it in correctly, so we took everything apart, pulled them out, and put them all in correctly, like the valley, then pushed down the grommets into place and everything like that.
The way it should have been done.
Yeah, exactly. The way it should have been done. And so we siliconed all that stuff up, and with the wires that were cut, we just end up butt connecting them together. Well, not together.
We did it the right way.
We end up blocking them off so they couldn't get shorted or any contaminants hit the wiring to make another electrical problem further down the road.
Correct. So I would also like to say I am very sorry for the loud tire noise. This truck has very cupped and worn out tires. Also, this truck rides like a springboard because it has 1-ton springs in the back, or at least I think they're 1-ton springs. That's why the truck sits so ass high, because the spring packs are so big, which I'm okay with because that's more crap I can haul and not have to worry about sagging. I will say that this truck does need a little bit more things, but it runs, it drives, it starts. Sometimes it starts right up, sometimes it doesn't. I think that has something to do with the cam position sensor, but I needed a truck to drive in the winter. I did not want to drive my Duramax in the winter anymore because all the salt they spread on the road and all the crap that they spread on the road gets just, everything rots. And I don't want that to happen to my diesel. And I don't want that, I don't want the poor old diesel to have to suffer in the cold. So I'm going to give that a break. We'll drive this old girl in the winter. So I'm not really as concerned about this truck. I mean, I am, but I'm not. But everything's been replaced. Rockers have been replaced, cab corners, floors, all the brake lines, all the essential things that rot out on these vehicles, on these trucks in particular, have all been pretty much taken care of. That's why the bed is red, because the old bed was bad. So we went through a lot, pretty much replaced everything in this truck.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of learning experiences on mine and Mike's part, and some of the information that we gave to. Another thing that two more things that we have an issue with currently. Well, one of them was just fixed. So I'll start with that one. We had a shifter linkage for the 4-wheel drive. And that actually broke apart a little bit when we were pulling everything out. There was a little metal plastic clip, a little metal piece that goes into a plastic clip to hold everything on to a ball joint so everything could shift and move freely. When we were going to the junkyards, we could not find a replacement. They were all electronic push buttons for the trans.
Yeah, or half tons, which are apparently not the same length. They're different.
So we actually found a couple of set on Amazon, amazingly, and we were able to get them to work, and it works perfectly fine now. We will, once we get back to the garage, which we're headed back now, we'll go and show you guys the shifter linkage that we used for the transfer case to get it into 4-wheel drive. If you have a need to find one, we had troubles finding one. We only found them on Amazon, amazingly. Yes. The other issue that we have that is not currently fixed, that we are still figuring out, which Mike could go in a little bit more detail about, is we have an issue with the ABS system. Every so often when he hits the brakes, we pull really hard to the right. But as soon as he gets off and reapplies, everything's perfectly fine. But it's a very intermittent situation. Not entirely sure if it's electrical, if it's the ABS module, or a speed sensor that's messing everything up.
It's possible. So again, this truck was involved in a fire before I bought it, and that part of the harness was severely burned. So I went to the junkyard and I found a new harness from a 2005. This is a 2006. Some of the plugs are different, and of course that is one of them. So I ended up buying one of those pin tools. I pushed all the pins out of my plug and the new plug, and I switched them. And of course, for some reason, the old plug had 2 extra wires, although I think that might have had something to do with something else that this truck did not have. So I actually didn't hook those up. So I don't know if there's just a short in those wires, or if the plug is bad, or if the ABS module is not functioning right. I don't know.
All right, we're back in the garage now, and well, for the most part, everything's going good with the claws. Besides the couple of hiccups that we mentioned before, the only other one that we have is because the cam sensor is still having a little bit of a funky time working. It is rough for claws to start up on
Sometimes.
the first. Yeah.
Sometimes it fires right up like it's normal. Sometimes it takes a couple times, a couple tries to crank her over. But it does start. It always starts.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
when it will, that's the more bigger question.
It runs, it drives, it does what I want it to do. 4-wheel drive works. It'll be perfect for the winter. Gives my old diesel truck a rest.
Keep going. I forgot one more thing I wanted to show you guys.
I think I know what you were talking about. But,
Yep.
So this is kind of one of our filler videos. We didn't really want to continue working on this without Ricky. Like we stated earlier in this video, he's on vacation, so we are going to put this on pause for a hot minute. But
absolutely. So one of the things that I wanted to show you was the shifter linkage. We have here an extra one that we got from Amazon. I don't know if you guys could see this. This is the metal piece on the clip that actually broke and was not holding on. I think it was the transfer case that it broke from.
Actually, it broke from the lever.
The lever?
The lever side was broke. The transfer case side was good.
Okay.
But here's the old one.
Oh, perfect.
Here's the old one here. And this is those metal tabs. Right, right on this. You can see that. They kind of snap in. There's like a little ball that sits on the other end, and they just push in. And a lot of the time when you remove these, they are worn from weather, or they break, or whatever. They bend, they snap, and then they fall off, and then they don't hold on. This is the side that does not have one. There's no metal piece here, and this is pretty fugly looking.
Yeah.
So
we upgraded to a new one, and again, this came off of Amazon, and the part number is 150-173-77. And we'll leave that in the link description below, just in case if you don't want to pause it and re-listen to it again.
Right.
But yeah, we had troubles finding this, so if you definitely are in the market for a shift linkage cable, shift linkage. Holy crap! If you're in the market for a shift linkage or your four-wheel drive to your transfer case on a 2006,
I think this is the same for all HD trucks, 99 to 07.5. I think. Could be wrong on that. The 03, I know the 03s and the 07.5s are all the same. The 99 to 02 might be a little different, but as far as I know, they are all the same. The easiest way to install these is honestly take the new one out of the package, line it up with this, get the right length you need, bolt it together. There's an adjuster nut here, adjuster bolt, loosen that up. You can adjust this, it sleeves in and out. Once you find your length, it's pretty easy. Just pops in. 10 seconds, it was on. No problem. And it shifts very well. It works fine, does its job. But I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. Definitely. If you guys were interested in the Klaus project, we have comprised all the videos into one video.
Save some time.
Just in case if you wanted to see the whole project from start to finish, we have it all for you in one video. Just make sure you click the bottom left corner to go and check that video out. And also, if you want to check out the old engine that came out of Klaus, it was destroyed completely.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, click the bottom right video, and that will bring you right to it. Also, this is Monroe County's finest. I'm Nate.
And I'm Mike.
And we will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
See ya.